ko ke lesi, o ko ke lesa, she la casa ko de tukudi. A chiesa da stalla, ma non così niña. A cuja la sana de dia. A così di stalla, ma non cuja la chiesa da ko de dia. A kala chiesa de. A cole saja, na na mana kaisa cole sa de dia. O kosh li sana no ke dia. So every time you feel an image and create in your heart what it is that you want to do, what you want to create, that energy will propel it forward, like magnetize your creation, make it stronger. This is like a permanent encodement. So every time you sit in meditation and you give power to this dream that you have, give power to the dream, the energy of the Lady Mary will magnetize and accelerate this outcome in your life. So I suggest that at least once a day, if not twice a day, you write down, you sit, and you speak your affirmation of what you want to achieve, what you want to create. You can even write it down as a paragraph. You speak it, which means you think it, and you speak it again a second time. And when you speak it a second time, you are adding the emotion, the feeling, the creation energy to it. And you speak it again a third time. And in that third speaking, you just know that it is. This is like being it. You know that you are doing it. You know that you are creating this outcome. And it can be whatever you dream of, you see, because remember, it's about what's in your heart. What is your truth? It doesn't matter about what someone else's truth is. What matters is what your truth is. Because when we follow the truth of the heart, we are always on track with our soul's purpose. So many people say to me, I want to find my soul purpose. I want to find my soul purpose. But you see, I can't, and nobody can, tell you what your soul purpose is. Because your soul purpose is inside your heart. And when you sit in meditation and you ask your heart what it wants to do, and not your head, ask your heart what it wants to do. Your heart will always tell you. And it could be as simple as, I want to go to Santa Fe and be in the mountains. I want to lie on a beach for a month in the sun. It doesn't have to be some highfalutin spiritual motive. It can be whatever your heart says. Okay? Because when you think, oh yes, but I have to go and write my book, or I have to meditate 11 hours a day, or I have to do this, unless it's what your heart is calling you to do, it's not really going to work, because that's what your head is telling you to do. And remember that you can change your visions or your desires every week if you want, because your heart is allowed to change its mind. So you might think this month, oh yes, I want to do this. And you do it with all your mind, all your might and all your mind and all your energy. And at the end of that month you think, well, yeah, that was great, but that's not really what I do anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. It's okay to change your mind. Because quite often in this process of really discovering who we are and what our heart really is telling us to do, we need to experiment with this or this over here before we realize, oh yes, this is what I really want to be doing, and go down that path. So this is when we come back to being compassionate with ourselves and giving ourselves a break. And if we're long overdue for a holiday, give ourselves one. Give ourselves a rest. Don't be our own slave drivers. I'm sure you resonate with that, I certainly do. We drive ourselves, don't we, so often. Nobody really does it to us. Nobody's standing here saying, Judy, you have to do this and you have to keep going 12 hours a day. It's the innate forces within us. It's probably some past life where we didn't achieve what we wanted. And so this time we're jolly sure we're going to make it, we're going to do it, and so we drive ourselves to get there. There's always unconscious reasons why we behave in the way that we do. You understand? Always other reasons other than what we think. But if you go within your heart, and it's easy to go within your heart, because all you do is shut your eyes. Let's have a little practice. All you do is shut your eyes. Place one hand on your heart chakra. This is your heart. And one hand on where the solar plexus is, and this is like your core star, or the core light of you. And so many lifetimes that core light has been dimmed by experiences that you've had. So you need to connect into that core soul essence of you. And you could do this every day. You could just say, okay, what does my heart say that I want to do today? What is the important thing for me to do today? And it won't always be what you think. And it's not always to finish the list of 10 things on your piece of paper either. Sometimes it's to get out and smell the roses. Sometimes it's to ring a friend that you haven't talked to for a very long time. What does your heart want you to do? Not your head. If you do that, you're always going to be on track with your soul's path and your soul's truth. So, just have a little break. I'll drink some more water. Of course, when Mary was in her lifetime as Mary, the mother of Jesus, and she went into the was about 12, they went back to Galilee. Jesus was initiated into high teachings in Egypt, you see, by the high priests. There was a strong connection, as some of you will know, between the priesthood of Egypt and the teachings that Thoth Johote brought from Atlantis, and the priesthood of On in the Heliopolis mystery schools. It's all the same thing. There's no distinction. We talk about religion, but really all the religions of the world are one, really. They're just being taught in different areas and at different times by different people. But it's all the same thing, really. And so, Mary, mother of Jesus, was an Essene priestess. And in those days, the Essene law was very strict. It had very strict guidelines for what should be done and what shouldn't be done. And the priest class of the Essenes, they had very definite roles that they were asked to play. The name Mary is not really the name of Mary. Mary is like a title. The Mary was the title given to the high priestess. And the Joseph is a title given to an enlightened one, an enlightened man within the Essene sect, the Essene teachings. And so Jesus was born of Mary and Joseph as the representative of light and of love on this planet, to start a new lineage of Christ beings who today number many, many thousands. Some of what I'm saying might be new to you. Is it new to you?
Are you talking about their offspring?
I'm talking about their offspring, yeah. You see, Jesus and Mary had 3 children. They had a daughter called Tamar. They had a daughter called Tamar, and they had 2 sons. And when Jesus was crucified on the cross, Mary took the daughter, Tamar, and the younger son, who was just really a baby, to France, to the south of France. And Joseph of Arimathea took the other son, Jesus the younger, to England. And so this is what is really meant by the Holy Grail. The Grail is the Grail line, like the DNA, if you like, of Jesus and Mary, the merging of the line of David and the Hasmonean line of The line of David is the line of Judah, and the Hasmonean line, the line of Israel. The merging of the DNA. Jesus once said, he talked about the fruit of the vine. You see, in the vine we're really the descendants of Jesus and Mary. There's probably quite a number of you in this room, to be honest. You see, and it's funny, you know, about genetics and DNA, because a lot of the DNA, of course, is through our parents and their parents and their parents and their parents. But there's such a thing as soul DNA as well. And the soul DNA is the attributes and experience and vibrations and memories that we bring through our many lifetimes of experience on a soul level. So there's a merging, when a baby is born, there's a merging of the two DNA lines. There's a merging of the soul DNA and the genetic DNA. Within the children of Jesus, there was a merging of the genetic DNA of both Jesus and Mary. And so Mary Magdalene really, she really planted and nurtured the seeds, if you see, in France. And these seeds, or this DNA, or this energy, over many centuries, and it's actually about 99 generations to now.
So are they aware?
I think on many levels they probably are, maybe not. But these people, and there's many, many thousands of, probably hundreds of thousands of descendants of Jesus and Mary now on the earth, are all holding within them the Christ seed, or the Christ energy. Now, as we move into the new time of the fifth dimension, these people are being activated. All of you sitting in this room, you're being activated. I'm not saying all of you necessarily carry the genetics of Jesus and Mary, but I am saying that you carry DNA codes that are at this time being activated into new awareness and new light and memory of on a soul level, who it is that you are and why you're actually here, you see. You know, the second coming of Jesus is not the second coming of Jesus the person. It's the second coming of the Christ energy to this planet, and the awareness of the Christ energy on this planet, that the people carry this energy within the DNA. I had an experience years ago. I'll just tell you this. When I first started doing this work, it was about 12, 13 years ago. And I learned to channel, and I connected with a being called Balthazar, who told me he was one of the three wise men, one of the Magi. And I worked with Balthazar for a year, just only Balthazar. And it was him that really taught me how to connect up to spirit and how to bring the energy through and how to differentiate one energy signature from another. And then I worked with the archangels, the ascended masters, many, many beings of light, extraterrestrial beings, okay? And in 2002, Spirit asked me to go to Bali. And I went, and I spent 6 weeks living in a little cottage in one of the rice fields near Ubud, which is a pretty lovely place to spend 6 weeks, let me tell you. And I took with me the Keys of Enoch. You know, Dr. Hurtak's book, The Keys of Enoch. And I was also told to take that, because that book explains exactly, written over 30 years ago, 33 years ago, I think, exactly what is happening now, on this planet now. And I was asked to sit down at 10 o'clock every morning and study the Keys of Enoch, which I didn't really mind doing at all, because I had this really cute little villa that looked down over the rice paddies and the coconut palms, and every morning about 6 o'clock I'd get up and I'd go for long walks on the river, the Champaran River, and then I'd come back and I'd sit on the breezeway of this veranda and I'd connect up with Spirit, and I'd say, it's 10 o'clock every morning, okay, what do you want me to do today? And they'd say, well, we want you to read this and we want to study this, and then we're going to tell you about it. So I spent all that time reading the book and learning and understanding, and Spirit would teach me from 10 to 3 every day, and then I was allowed out of school and I could go down to the markets and have a latte. That's right. It's quite fun, really. However, I had a really interesting experience, because they were trying to tell